If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, and if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Kryptonite. I'm Colton, and Boris will be back next week. He will be able to discuss some of the big news that has happened in the past 2 weeks that he's been out. But again, we did not want to leave you guys shorthanded, so today I'm doing another video. Today's video, we will be discussing pro sports teams and the sense of urge that they've had with crypto, and we'll be talking about the largest deals that crypto has signed with sports teams. So, let's dive in. As many of crypto and the sports world are kind of taking over one of each other. It's kind of a two-way partnership, so to speak. There's a lot of exchanges now that are being used, aka Mark Cuban. You can now purchase tickets for any Mavs or Stars game in Dallas, with crypto. So that's pretty cool to see. But more what I'm talking about today is more advertisements on, stadiums, some jerseys. But I'm just going to name some of the biggest deals that have happened in the sports world in crypto. And, we're going to start off with the biggest one. And that is crypto.com buying Staples Center. That was huge. Staples Center has always been Staples Center my entire life. I don't think there's that many staples left, so I understand the change. It was a pretty big change, to people. A lot of people did not want this to go through, but how can you, as the Lakers and Clippers and the Kings and the WNBA teams that play there, how can you turn down this deal? I mean, Crypto.com went to them with $700 million, and, how do you turn that down? How do you can really improve the stadium, you can improve the staff, you can make some serious upgrades. And the big thing here is the Clippers are building their own stadium in Inglewood, so the Lakers are really going to get, the majority of this once the Clippers leave. So, that's a huge deal. It's also a 20-year deal. So, this deal is signed for almost 2 decades. So it shows that the Lakers, the NBA, believe in crypto. It's not just a short-term deal. It is pretty crazy to see a 20-year deal, but again, you're paying $700 million, so I mean, I understand it. The next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the Miami Heat, formerly known as American Airlines Arena, is now FTX. FTX bought it for a 19-year deal at $125 million. Now, you can see the big difference here. Purchasing an arena in LA is $700 million. Purchasing an arena in Miami, Florida is $125. Again, this was another 19-year deal. So, it is pretty awesome to see, another team say, hey, in the NBA, this is going to be long-term, let's do it. And, the Miami Heat, there's a lot of players that have been very vocalized on the Miami Heat for wanting to, use Bitcoin, be paid in Bitcoin, specifically in endorsements and stuff like that. But it is, 2 arenas in the NBA that are officially, sponsored by by either an exchange or a coin, So that's pretty cool. The next big deal that happened, and the money wasn't disclosed because it's an ad on the jersey, but it was a 6-year deal, so that's pretty long for an advertisement on the jersey. This recently happened in the NBA. The NBA is kind of taking the soccer football route, meaning, they're going to start putting advertisements on jerseys. It's not going to be the whole, jersey, but up here on the shoulder, right here on the patch, there'll be an advertisement. And there's a ton in sports right now, but I brought up this one because, like I said, it's a 6-year sponsorship. Crypto.com again sponsored with Philadelphia 76ers, and they're their official sponsor on the jersey for 6 years. And Philly is just, they did a very good job, Crypto.com, of making Staples Center, that's probably a top 3 basketball venue in the world, depending on who you're talking to. And now, being on the 76ers with James Harden and Joel Embiid, they're getting plenty of exposure at all times, especially with the playoffs coming up. They're a pretty big favorite to win it this year now. So, they have advertisements, from the stadium to, on jerseys. So, they've spent a good amount of money with, sports in general, but also the NBA to advertise, to, get the name out there. So, I mean, like I said, this is pretty cool to see. Crypto.com technically has a 26-year deal right now, that they'll be, seen in the NBA for 26 years. So it's pretty smart on their part. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is that FTX bought a college stadium. They actually, I shouldn't say they bought the college stadium. They purchased the naming rights to the college stadium, and they purchased it for 17.5 million on a 10-year deal. And this was at the University of UC Berkeley. And this is probably the first college deal that has come through. And again, I totally understand a college, they're not going to turn down $17.5 million. But it is interesting to see that colleges are now getting involved, especially, with the relationship that they have with banks and all that type of stuff with student loans, etc. So it is interesting to see that. But I wouldn't expect that in college. Every school is not going to do what the NBA and other sports leagues are doing. Dropping their sponsorships, for them. I don't see, Kyle Field changing. I don't see, any other stadium really, changing their name unless, it's a $200 million deal. Then you can kind of change it up. The next thing I wanted to discuss is we do know that this is one of the largest deals in sports history with crypto, but we do not know the exact number. And it's Tezos partnering with Major League Baseball's New York Mets. This was, a big thing, especially with baseball. There's only one player right now in baseball currently, and it's Shohei Ohtani. That's, getting paid, or at least vocalized getting paid in crypto. So, it's still a sports world that hasn't been tapped into quite yet by crypto. But, with the lockout and everything happening, I wouldn't be surprised when free agency comes around that some of these players who are going to get a 10-year, 12-year, $350, $450 million deal, that, they take some percentage in crypto. There's a lot. I had the video yesterday. I mean, I'm sure there's way more than 7 players in the NBA, or NFL that have, or baseball even, have got paid. They're just not vocalizing. There was actually during the Super Bowl, the Bengals, there was a player that had supposedly got paid in crypto after the Super Bowl was over. It was the backup quarterback. He admitted to it. So, again, there's rumors. People aren't, 100%, willing to vocalize it like, some people, but it is pretty cool, to see baseball getting involved with it, especially with the lockout going on and all that right now. But, I would expect to see a change in some of the baseball players' mind once this lockout is over. The last thing, that I wanted to discuss today was Coinbase. Coinbase spent a ton of money on the Super Bowl advertisement, but they also inked a deal with the NBA and WNBA to become the official sponsor. And again, this usually isn't disclosed or anything like that, but we do obviously know that's had to be one of the biggest deals ever. To be an official sponsor of a sport is, pretty expensive. In the past it used to be Hennessy, it used to be Kia. So, these companies are dishing out some money to be the sponsor. So, again, the NBA has really kind of embraced the crypto world from top down, essentially. So what I mean is, there's owners, Mark Cuban, other owners throughout the league, that really love crypto, then to the stadiums now having crypto on them, to the players endorsing the crypto, to having crypto ads on the court, to their jerseys, to the stands. If you watch a basketball game now, or any really sports, advertisements rotate, and you'll watch. There's just a ton of advertisement, and the cool thing about the NBA is they got this technology where on the basketball court, the advertisements like near half court, or the short quarter where the 3 is, those rotate almost every quarter. So people are paying a ton of money to advertise, and you see crypto on there. It may fool you, but those aren't real advertisements. Those rotate. Some of them are obviously real, but if you pay attention, most of them are an image on the court that we can see. The players can't, obviously, and the people in the stadium. But it does rotate, and they pay a lot of money. But I think as more sports embrace crypto, like the NBA has, the NFL, partners with all these gambling leagues and all this stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a partnership in crypto here pretty soon. Like the NBA official sponsor, something like that. And like I said, I think with baseball, it's going to happen eventually. Once the lockout's over, and soccer. Soccer's another one where there's been a ton of coins. There's been a ton of exchanges that have saved clubs in the long haul with the sponsorships that they that they received. But at the end of the day, like I said, when these companies and these sports teams fully embrace each other, it's only going to get better. As my last video, I know most people don't, not everyone loves sports, but being someone who is in marketing and knowing the impact sports has, that's probably the best place to advertise. I mean, there's so many people that see the advertisements in the stadium, on national television. So it is very, very, a mutual, a mutual partnership here between these and sports teams, because like I said, most of these sports teams have, I'm not saying, crypto is like gambling, but, in the terms of what I'm saying, the NBA and the NFL have partnered with, Caesars, all these sports books. Why not partner with crypto now with investments? So, that's, especially when your players are vocalizing it too as well. But, other than that, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. We will respond. But thank you. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you guys on the next edition of Kryptonite. Thank you.
I hope this video helps. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.